Let's meet at the library. Okay.
Look, even my skin knew that this was a bad idea, and yet here I am attempting to do it anyway. Hi everyone, it's Julia, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a reading vlog. This is fun because when you're quarantined, you don't get car vlogs, you get real vlogs like normal people do. Amazing. I'm here to try to read A Court of Mist and Fury in one day because it was on my March TBR. Today is March 31st, the last day of March, and it's 10:34 in the morning already, and I haven't read anything since I woke up. Okay, full disclosure, I did read a little bit yesterday. I think I read exactly 100 pages actually, which is a nice little head start, but Bookly still predicts that it'll take me 8 more hours to read this book. Explain to me what that pace is, because I felt like I was kind of zooming. Whatever. But we'll see. Here's what you missed from my reading yesterday. So far, what has happened? Feyre almost got married. Rhysand showed up at the wedding to steal her away. Honestly, not a big Rhysand fan, but that was very dramatic and exciting. I kind of liked it. Then what happened? Not too much. We met Morrigan. She's new this book. Oh, we met Ianthe, the priestess, and I'm going to tell you right now, she's the villain. She's the villain. Who's the antagonist of this book? It's Ianthe. And you want to know how I know? Is because I have not heard of this chick. And if she was like one of the gang, she'd be in like all the memes and the posts that people do. But I have never heard the name Ianthe in my life, which makes me think, oop, that's a villain. So, there's just a little fun fact. What else has happened? Feyre's starting to learn how to read, and you know what? I'm not mad about it. I'm happy for her. Oh, not a lot has bothered me so far, and I'm very impressed by that because the first book, I had many complaints. This book, so far, very few complaints. One thing, I'm not here to like police anyone's trauma, but can one be triggered by an entire color? Because it seems like anything red in the world, and sometimes blue, sends Feyre into a moment. And like I said, I'm not here to judge, and I'm not someone who has, thankfully, ever experienced trauma, so I don't like actually know. I'm not an expert, but it was just interesting to me because I've never seen or heard anything like that. I don't know. Also, wow, I can't believe that the Fae have plumbing. Like, that's crazy. There have been toilets mentioned at least 4 times in this novel so far. And I'm like, toilets? You guys have running water? What technologically advanced fairies you are. It's just something fun I've learned about Prythian. We're gonna pin this hair back up. I liked it. So basically, where we're at currently, Feyre just got back from her first excursion to the night court, and Tamlin and Lucien are like, give us everything you know, blah blah blah, and like, that's cool. I don't know, there's like, I'm not mad at anyone yet. It's like, I don't hate Tamlin yet. I don't actively hate any more than I did Rhysand yet. Lucien hasn't disappointed me, which is good because he was kind of the only character that I could stand in the first book. Weirdly, I don't hate Feyre yet in this book, 100 pages in, and like, she kind of has character traits all of a sudden. Like the fishy girl from the lake was like, I can't pay you, we don't have any fish. And then she was like, take my jewels, don't be hungry. And I was like, a trait, a character trait, empathy. This is so exciting. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see where this goes. I know that this is the point in the series when everyone gets up in arms about Tamlin, I guess, abusing and like, I don't know the word I'm looking for, just being a bad boyfriend in general to Feyre, but I'm not trying to like excuse his behavior, but at this point in the story, like, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I think he's also traumatized and he's afraid of losing her, and like, I'm not defending him, but I understand his rationale. I don't know. Let's go pick it up and read some more, and I'll check back in with you when anything interesting happens. Okay, hear me out. Is Feyre not Bella Swan? Like, she went from a human to a other being, and it's like, oh my god, you're so powerful now. What? Like, this is crazy. Look at all this power you have. You're so strong. You're so fast. It's like, that's very Bella Swan. Also, I forgot to say earlier that in the first 100 pages, one of the things that bothered me the most from the first book was her writing style, because Sarah J. Maas couldn't stop saying like these triplet phrases like blank and blank and blank, and she would use them to describe everything. In the first 100 pages of this book, she only did 3 of them that I noticed. Like, I feel proud of her. So maybe her writing improved in this book. So I know Lucien has one fake eye, so I understand, like, pointing out the difference between the two. But to say, my friend's eyes, both metal and flesh, would you describe an eyeball as flesh? Because I wouldn't. Ew. Are eyeballs considered flesh? I really don't know. Sorry you could see my pile of clothes over there. Flesh? I was genuinely really curious, so I Googled it. Apparently the definition of flesh is like what's between your skin and your bone, so it's like muscle and fat. So I know eyes have muscles that move them, but is the eyeball muscle? I don't think so. Technically, I don't know if eyes are flesh. Anatomy people, I would love to know your vast knowledge on this subject. Please answer my question. I'm so confused. Can someone... Okay, this might not be Sarah J. Maas. This might be fairy lore that I don't understand because I don't read many books about fae. That's fine. That's on me. I don't understand the rankings, the titles. Okay, because here's where I'm at. So Feyre's at dinner with Rhysand's inner circle. And so they're talking about high fae, but then Illyrians are not high fae, but they're also not lesser fairies. So what are you? So high fae is only titled fae? Because I thought that every fairy who looked like kind of human-esque but really hot was high fae. So like Tamlin, Lucien, Rhysand, Amarantha, like anyone who was like that was high fae, and that the weird things like the bogey and the naga and anything that looked more animalistic was not high fae. But apparently I'm wrong, because Illyrians, whatever they are not high fae. And lesser fairies are just their own thing. So I guess that's the bogey and the naga are the lesser fairies. I need a chart, please. I'm so confused. Also, very interesting for Rhysand to say, my mother and father, despite being mates, were wrong for each other. Like, I thought that was the opposite of what that bond was supposed to be. Like, so you can have a mating bond with someone, but they're not right for you? That sucks. Oof. Okay, just something to think about. Ayo, mythology check. Okay, so we're getting more information here. Long ago, before the High Fae, before man, there was a cauldron. They say all the magic was contained inside it, that the world was born in it, but it fell into the wrong hands, and great and horrible things were done with it. Things were forged with it, such wicked things that the cauldron was eventually stolen back at a great cost. It could not be destroyed, for it had made all things, and if it were broken, then life would cease to be. So it was hidden and forgotten. Only with that cauldron could something that is dead be reforged like that. Okay, so first of all, info on the cauldron, very exciting. So the cauldron is a thing, it's not a person. In fact, it sounds like it's a literal cauldron. That's fun. So now, okay, so cauldron, the cauldron is like what the world was created inside of, but it did not in self create the world. Okay, so they also mention often like mother, the mother with a capital M. So like, is she the god of this religion of the fairies? But also I made a note at some point in reading because they said like the gods. So I think they're like polytheists. And then mother's like the creating, the god of creation, maybe? Just let me in. I want to know your mythology. I want to understand your religion. Like, I just want this explained to me better because I'm still really confused. So is that implying that like anyone can control / use the cauldron, or does it have to be a god? These are things I want to know. Also interesting because the bone carver is asking Feyre what happened when she died. And she was saying that like she only saw darkness. There was peace and darkness, but there was no light, no portal, anything like that. So I guess it's implied that if she truly was dying, that in this story, there's like no such thing as heaven or hell. But they say hell, and they say like words relating to hell, like damn or like be damned. So I'm just trying to make sense of it all. I don't know. This is very confusing world building for me. All right, friends, here we are. Taking a little break. I'm on page 204, which means I'm like a third of the way done. And it's like 12:30, so Bookly predicts it's going to take me another 6 hours of reading to finish this book. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. Guys, why do we have to be stuck in the night court? I miss Lucian. Like, there's only one character I'm attached to in this whole dang series, and I get like 2 scenes of him. It's fine, I guess. That Weaver, though, that was scary. That was kind of fun. Very creepy. Felt very deathless, very splintered. I liked that. I'm only vlogging right now because I'm procrastinating reading. I'm on page 237 and I keep blocking the shot with my thumb. Love that for me. Quick thought. For a culture who like worships the mother or believes in her or whatever, they are weirdly patriarchal. Oh my god. It's like the High Fae are, the Illyrians are, just everyone is. Like, just so misogynistic. There are no high ladies. Oh yeah, they clipped the women's wings so they couldn't fly. Our virginity is guarded, then sold off to the highest bidder is an exact quote from Morrigan right now. Like, oh my god. Uh-oh. Something I care about. But it's a spoiler. Oh no. Okay. So Feyre just got back to her house, right? Like her family's house. And oh my god. Oh wow. And she's like, oh, Elaine, the softest of us, the most gentle. And I'm like, okay, as a Hufflepuff, we stan, like, love that. But wasn't Elaine, like, just as useless as Nesta, like, back in the day when Feyre was the only one doing anything to keep their family alive? I don't know. So I was like, I, with my smart brain, will just Google her and, like, read a little bit about that, right? To see like what it said, and it was like she used to garden or whatever. But then that smart brain stopped being so smart and it kept reading. And let's just say I'm not mad about what I discovered. Should I wait until I get to that point in the book to talk about it? Let's wait, but I'll just say for now, at least the only characters I actually care about are getting what they deserve, and I respect that. Okay, great. Oh my god, I can't believe I just found this out. What have I done? Oh, you guys. I haven't even read a page since I filmed that last clip. I'm reeling. I tweeted about it. Vaguely. I'm so excited. Who saw this coming? No one saw this coming. No one thought I was going to care about anything in this vlog except my own misery. Aha! Sarah J. Maas. She just confirmed that I was right about something. So in my top 5 worst things about ACOTAR that no one seems to talk about video, linked up here, I complained that the whole like high fae, lesser fae thing seemed like kind of like a racist sort of illusion, right? That is illusion, not illusion. And now we're kind of getting confirmation of that. So Nesta and Elaine are meeting Rhys and his inner circle. And she says, you look like high fae, but you're not. And then Cassian says, only the high fae who look like them are high fae, referring to Feyre and Rhys, which I don't really know what that means, but okay. And then he says, everyone else, any other differences, mark you as what they like to call lesser fae. And then Rhysand explains, it's become a term used for ease, but masks a long, bloody history of injustices. Many lesser fairies resent the term and wish for us to be called one thing. Wow, thank you. I was correct, and I will be deleting every negative comment on that video. I'm just kidding. I actually really enjoy the comments on that video. Some people are very kind, and some comments are like really defensive and aggressive, but I don't know. I've really enjoyed the comments that I've gotten on that video over the years, because I'm just like, that's cool, you do you. But this is one point that I was right about. Why did Nesta just hiss? Like, I have excused and like ignored all the instances of Fae growling and hissing because, like, sure, they're not human, I guess. But Nesta is. Why would she hiss? And it wasn't even accompanied by dialogue. It was just she hissed in response to something. Like, was it like a or was it like like, please explain. So Feyre wrote to Tamlin, or just to the Spring Court or whoever she addressed her letter to say, I'm not coming back. Thank you. It's been real. And so now she's thinking about it, and she says, well, she thinks, it had been love and I'd meant it. The happiness, the lust, the peace. I'd felt all those things once. But maybe those things had blinded me too. Maybe they'd been a blanket over my eyes about the temper, the need for control, the need to protect that ran so deep he'd lock me up like a prisoner. Honestly, I feel like the Beauty and the Beast retelling could be stronger right now than it was in the first book. Because there were like a couple loose things where I was like, yeah, okay, like I get it, it's a retelling, but now I'm like, now I'm really getting the Beast vibes with the rage and the locking her up. Like, that's Beast 101. I don't know. And this, look at this, almost halfway, is supposed to be a Hades and Persephone retelling. They did the visiting thing twice before she's like, and I'm here now. So that's pretty loosey-goosey too. I don't know who was in charge of being like, ah yes, it is a retelling of this. Yeah, whoever made those calls like meant it on the vaguest of terms, in my opinion. I'm still not even halfway through. Gonna take a little break. Wow.
Later that same evening.
Hey friends, time for a little reading update. It is now 9 o'clock and oh, would you look at that? I haven't read anything since my mom got home. I'm still on page 301. So technically I am not even halfway done with this book. Looks like your girl's gonna be staying up late and sleeping in tomorrow because I'm on a mission. This will be done tonight. I will not be starting April reading this book. Like, that's just an April Fool's joke to myself. I refuse. And I don't know if you've seen behind me this whole time, but like, not that. We've got a, get out of here. We've got a hefty April TBR. There's no room for this on there. So I'm gonna finish watching the Great British Baking Show, as one does, just this episode, and get back to it, because this is absurd. So if I read at my current rate without stopping, I'll be done with this book at 3 in the morning. So are we pulling an all-nighter, or what's gonna happen here? TBD. Okay, well, why do I never hear about Tarquin? He seems like a cool dude. Like, is he gonna betray us? Right now I vibe with him. He's like, you're really cool. Hey, Feyre, I think you're all that. You should take this necklace. I think we should break down the class system. Like, I like him. What do we have here? The most quoted quote of this entire series? I'm going places now. Tell me why she so strongly foreshadowed the water wraith thing and I totally forgot. And that just took me by surprise. That was great. Okay, well played. Well played. It was well paced and I forgot. And I was like, yes, of course. Okay, I'll give you that one, Sarah J. Maas. The water wraiths have saved the day. I still have 300 pages to read. We're in a quandary here. Bookly still predicts it will take me 3 hours to finish reading this book, and honestly, I'm getting a little into it, but not into it enough to stay up till 3 in the morning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go upstairs, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I don't know, maybe read a little bit more before I go to sleep. It's getting spicy though. Getting very spicy. Like, it was so weird to me that she was like, oh, my traitorous body. I'm like, what do you mean your traitorous body? You both have been hot for each other for like 4 months or whatever now. Like, I personally don't get it, but I respect it and I'm fine with it. I allow this. It's very consensual. I don't know. It just seemed weird to me that she's like, oh, wow, why is my body reacting this way? It's like, cause look at what this boy's doing. Yeah, story checks out. What a weird note to end my evening on.
The next day.
Hey, friends. So, as you can tell by my different shirt and my different hair and the fact that the sun is up and the fact that I'm putting on makeup, it's the same day and I totally haven't failed my mission or anything. Okay, obviously that's a lie. So I didn't read Akatar. No, that's the first book. I didn't read Acomaf in one day. But you know what? I read 100 pages on my first day. I read almost 300 pages yesterday. Or no, did I read 300? I did. I read 319 pages yesterday. And I still have a third of the book left. But overall, like, I think that's pretty impressive. That's a lot of reading in one day. That's the most pages I've read in a day this entire month. So, yeah, let's not complain, okay? You know, small victories. Okay, where did we leave off last night? Oh my god. So, things are happening. Oh shoot, I already forgot his name. Tarquin? Is that the Summer Court High Lord? He sent the blood rubies. Whoops, he's a little mad. I still hope he's cool in the end because I quite liked Tarquin. I think he's a pretty rad dude. They went to the Court of Nightmares to kind of like posture and be like, ooh, look, Rhysand, he's so bad. Ooh. And that was successful and also spicy. Wow. Anything else of import? Don't think so. I started chatting with Lulu a little bit last night, just to like air some of my thoughts, and I feel like the characters are much more interesting in this book than the first one. Like, I still wouldn't say I like Rhysand, nor would I say I ship Faysand, but like, do I get it? do I validate everyone who does ship it? Yeah, like, I don't, but I get it and I support you. Do your thing. I think Tamlin could have had more page time. Like, I think his villain arc is really interesting and we didn't get to explore it enough. Hopefully we get more of him later, because I just feel like, I don't know, if we're trying to explore like the fact that he's overprotective and like that he loves Feyre so much that it's like making him do these crazy things, like I'd like to see more of those crazy things and have him express some of that internal motivation. I don't know, because right now it's just Feyre like speculating about that. What else? Still really tired of backstory after backstory after backstory of characters who we like either have not met and will never meet, or backstory about like people, instead of like having them developing bonds and like getting to know one another. It's like, hi, I'm this person and here's my story. It's like, that's not how you meet people. It's like, and I have a tragic past. Like, no one does that. I don't know. It's strange. I feel like that's how the introduction to everyone at the Night Court was just like, I'm an Illyrian. Here's how awful my people are. I'm from the Court of Nightmares. Here's how my family abused me. Like, they didn't say it quite so chipper, but it's kind of how it felt. Yeah, I don't know. I should get back to reading because we got a lot of that left to do, right? Am I okay? I'm not crying, but I'm weirdly misty-eyed over this whole, the villain is usually the person who locks up the maiden and throws away the key. He was the one who let me out. Who would try to make me feel something like this? Y'all, I have to think so hard about how I'm gonna rate this book. I know I still have a third of it left, but like just trying to break it down in my head so far. Like, okay, plot, still not strong. Maybe like 2, 3, I don't know, because I don't care about the book. I don't care about a war. Never in my life have I once cared about a war in a book. Like, the most boring thing ever. Not to belittle war, but like in a book, I hate it. So that's whatever. Characters get a bump. They're definitely closer to a 3 because they're so much more interesting and, dare I say, likable in this book, but they're not as fleshed out as I want them to be, and I want a lot more like introspection. Yeah, like we could spend a lot more time with Feyre's trauma. That'd be great. What else? Pacing. TBD, depending on what happens and what goes down in the last third of this book. What else? Enjoyment. I have no idea what my enjoyment rating is going to be. What else? What's the other thing? Writing. That's still probably like a 3. Wow, this book might get 3 stars. Compared to my 1.5 stars I gave the first book, that's strong. That's growth right there. I'm in my feelings right now. I don't know. Wow, this whole Starfall scene, very pure, very sweet, so genuine, probably like the most real I've ever seen Rhysand, which I respect. As a Hufflepuff, you know, like, I'm about that. Much to think about. weirdest vlog. It's like, I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm afraid to even be feeling. It's very strange. Also, may I just say, I think the reason that Feyre is so interesting in this book compared to the first one is that they took away the fact that she's illiterate, they took away the fact that she's a painter, and without those two fake character traits, she gained real ones. She's like, oh, I'm empathetic now. I've experienced trauma, and that makes me like perceive things in a different way, and I'm gonna like talk about my feelings, and I want more independence. And I'm like, who is this person who suddenly has like character motivation and a personality? Love that. Love that. I would also love it if just for once my brain could read the word Illyrians and not go, welcome to Illyria, welcome, 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 welcome to Illyria. Because, oh my god, I'm so annoying. Okay, wait. Maybe a small part of me might always care for him, but Amarantha had broken us both, or broken me so that who he was and what I now was no longer fit. That is like bizarrely healthy and well said. What is happening between the last book and this book that made this one so much better? What kind of awakening did Sarah J. Maas have between writing these books? She went through something. Okay, so Rhysand has just been shot or captured or whatever just happened. And this is my issue with this book. This plot, who cares? I hate, I hate this kind of conflict so much. Like, things I don't care about in this series, the Cauldron, the book, Highburn, whoever that is, like the conflict between the Fae and the humans I barely even care about. Honestly, like, man versus self conflict is so interesting, and I don't know why Sarah J. Maas didn't lean into that. Like, the tension of like Rhysand and Tamlin's past, Feyre and Tamlin's eroded relationship, the like tension in a good way of like not wanting to admit their feelings between Feyre and Rhysand, the trauma of all three of those characters in their past, like all of that is actually so interesting and compelling, and I don't know why we're not focused on those elements, because those are the best parts of this story. Like, oh my god. Enough. Like, I don't want to hear about any other courts. I don't want to hear about any other people. I don't want any hunters or warriors or battles. I just don't want it. Oh. The potential here is like genuinely really good. And there are some parts that are really good. And I swear to you, think of your favorite scene from A Court of Mist and Fury. Think of it. Think of your absolute favorite scene, your favorite quote, your most memorable moment. I guarantee you it is something in that list of what I just mentioned. It's either Feyre and Rhysand like having a heart-to-heart or like denying their feelings, or it's something to do with that like inner turmoil and the conflict and the overcoming of Feyre's trauma. Like, it's something involved in those realms, because those are the best parts of this book. It's fine. What do I know? You are feeling too much Too fast. Me though. What? Listen. The fact that Feyre demands, and from either Tamlin or Rhysand at any point in this book, that she be kept in the loop, that she be told everything, that she will not be shielded for fear of what might happen, like she wants to be a part of that. Really cool. Love that for her. But the fact that the moment she doesn't get her way, she shuts them out and says nothing, like that is such an interesting character flaw. Like, she wants to be always kept in the loop of everything, but the moment she is hurt, she slams the door and is like, no, don't even talk to me. Like, that is good. That's good, Sarah J. Maas. That's good. Aha. And before any of you go saying, oh, Julia, what are you talking about? Miscommunication tropes are the worst. It took Feyre not even 5 pages, one evening in her time to go, I'd walked away from him a day after I'd told him he was the only thing I never walk away from. I demanded honesty, and at the first true test, I hadn't even let him give it to me. I hadn't even granted the consideration of hearing him out. That's what we call growth, baby! Character development! Pooh! I'm so proud of Sarah J. Maas. She's come so far. I've said a lot of nice things, so now let's take a moment to acknowledge like 1 page after she's like, and I knew Rhysand would leave and close the door if I told him no. Like, yay, we love consent. 1 page later, it's like, ah, you're offering me food? That's our patriarchal tradition of a female accepting the bond, is to offer her mate some food. Well, we tried. We were going strong for a minute there. Okay, here we go again, though, with the confusing lore. Okay, because Rhysand is giving his whole backstory of like, and I saw your dreams, and I was like falling in love with you, and I suspected you were my mate, and like, that's too much for me. For the realization to come right at the end of the first book, I think makes the most sense, because that's when it became obvious to us as readers. It's like, that was the mate thing, right? Like, it just happened. So don't like that they're taking it back this far, but that's whatever. That's neither here nor there. Sorry, I was pacing while I was reading. That's why I sound out of breath. I'm not just this worked up. So Rhysand says, maybe the cauldron had been kind and not cruel for letting me see you. The cauldron isn't sentient, right? Like, it's a thing. It's a literal thing. You guys have been trying to find it because it's a thing. It's an object. It's not, because there's the mother. There's gods. The cauldron is an object. I literally thought I was finally making sense of some of this, and now it's just confusing. Or is it like the Wheel of Fortune? Is it like fate, you know, where it is just its thing? It's a thing that controls everything. But I guess like in Greek mythology, there are the fates, but that's like different than just fate as a bodiless entity. Listen, what we're not gonna do is say I told you so in this vlog, because is A Court of Mist and Fury a perfect book? No, it is not. It is far from a perfect book. But is it like leaps and bounds better than A Court of Thorns and Roses? Yes, that book sucked. So, like, I'm very confused about the fact that they were published like literally a year apart. Like, I don't know what occurred in Sarah J. Maas's life, or like if she wrote the idea for book 1 like forever ago and then was like, I can come up with a sequel, and her sequel was just so much better. I would love to know. Does anyone know about her life? What changed to make her a better writer? I don't know. I still have like 90, 80 pages left. Let's finish this book. What a thrill. A reading from chapter 62. The cauldron was absence and presence, darkness and whatever the darkness had come from, but not life, not joy or light or hope. Ignoring the triplet, because I thought we moved past that, Sarah J. Maas. But why? I thought the whole Prithian and everything came from the cauldron. It's not life, but all life came out of it? This makes no sense. This is what I mean when I talk about the world building in this book. Like, Sarah J. Maas truly came up with like 5 words and she was like, and that's fairy culture, and yep, just that's what it is. Doesn't have to make sense. I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to explain it a different way, and then I'm going to talk about it but inconsistently and keep them guessing. Like, I just don't get that. This is just a side note, but don't you think it's weird that like a lot of the names in this book series are like almost normal names, but then she's like, I'm going to make it a fantasy name. Like, Reese is just like Reece, but spelled weird. Morrigan is just Morgan with an extra syllable. Jurian is just Julian with a vowel swap, or a consonant swap rather. I know letters. Who else? Amrin is just Cameron without a C. Think about it. Hello. I'm here to recreate the noise that just came out of my body. It went something like this. Now that I've upheld my end of the bargain, I expect you to uphold yours. And then Lucian and Tamlin step into the light. Pardon me? It's getting spicy. I'm disappointed for Lucian, but I know that it's just because he's loyal and he has good intentions, and I know this is all Tamlin's fault. I know it. Like, are you kidding me? I know Lucian would never disappoint me in this way, so I'm just assuming he's a victim in this situation. I have like 30 pages left, NBD. I also just wanted to say, I was thinking about this while I was reading, like, I truly was like, oh, it won't be so bad to dive back into this world. At least I have Lucian, the one character that I kind of care about, and he's been, what, in all of 4 chapters of this book? Cool. Great. I've done it! I've read the entirety of A Court of Mist and Fury, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I'm quite torn. I'm gonna have to think about my rating for a little bit. I know earlier I was talking about it being probably around 3 stars, and honestly, that's kind of how I'm still feeling like it'll be. I'm curious. Yeah, I need to break down my thoughts a lot more. I have a feeling I'm gonna write another nice, big, hefty Goodreads review. But I do think that everyone who was mad about my Akatar video will hate me a little bit less now, maybe. I don't know. I don't really care about anyone else's opinion. I feel how I feel, you know? But, I did it. I'm just really proud of myself for powering through this book in, I guess, technically 3 days. Not 1. But it's hefty. Okay, there you have it. thank you all for watching. What a journey we've been on together. I will make sure to write my Goodreads review and link it down below before this vlog goes up so you can kind of get a summary of my thoughts once I've put them together. But wow, we've experienced a lot. I feel like we've shared so many memories in this vlog. Thank you all for coming on this crazy little journey with me. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more vlogs from me. I am so excited to do a vlog not in my car for once. I know. That's what we call character growth. Just like Feyre, I've had character development too. Yeah, and subscribe and you'll see more from me soon. Bye.